West Liberty Heritage Depot and Heritage Depot Museum and Heritage Park in West Liberty, Iowa is located on 407 North Elm Street in West Liberty, Iowa. The railroad park is open daily 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day, and the depot is open Monday through Friday 1 to 3:30 and Saturday 10 to 2. When the city became an important railroad hub following the arrival of the East-West Railroad line in 1855 and subsequent North-South Railroad line in 1870, the West Liberty Heritage Foundation was established to collect and preserve historical information about the railroad. Also, the depot was built in 1897 and also was using Van Meter Buff's brick after fire destroyed the old frame depot. In addition to ticket and telegraph office, there were 2 waiting rooms, an express room, and baggage room. After passenger service was discontinued in the late 1960s, the depot fell into disrepair. Then, in 1999, the West Liberty Heritage Foundation was incorporated and granted 501c3 status. After acquiring the depot and railroad maintenance yard, plans for restoration began to take shape. This project began in 2000, dedication of the restored depot, and was held in August 2001. Artifacts and memorabilia pertaining to the railroad in West Liberty are on display. Buildings have been added to the former railroad yard, which emphasizes the educational and agricultural heritage. Also, the outside of the depot has a playground area and gazebo and a lot of others you'll find in the park, including a steam locomotive and a caboose as well. Also, the depot is a former Rock Island depot served by the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific many years ago. P.T. Clifford & Son 2056 was built by Henry Kirk Porter in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1925 and is the 2056th steam locomotive built by that factory and is an 040T four-wheeler type steam locomotive. P.T. Clifford & Son 2056 was used originally for the P.T. Clifford & Son Company in Valparaiso, Indiana, and was used as a shunter locomotive. Later, the locomotive was in a state of disrepairs and then later got sold to H.B. Graham in Gladstone, Illinois. Then the locomotive was sold to Midwest Old Threshers Association and sat on the north end of McMillan Park in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and was displayed there in the 50s and 60s, and people even climbed around it. Then later on, the locomotive was sold to Kim Graham. The locomotive then also found itself in Solon, Iowa, and was being primed, and then in 2013 it was bought by the West Liberty Heritage Foundation, and then in 2014 it got moved to the park and painted with the saddle saying on this side saying on it Heritage Park Short Line. And also, when it sat in McMillan Park in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, the sides on the saddle saying Midwest Old Threshers Short Line Railroad. Also today, the locomotive is preserved at Heritage Park in West Liberty, Iowa, at the West Liberty Depot Museum and Heritage Park in West Liberty, Iowa, where it is today. Also, you can even visit the engine's cabin, even sit where the engineer and fireman used to sit, and even ring the locomotive's bell. And that's how it's done. Okay, you can see right here, these are some signal lights. They are still active. They are used for the rail line right next to me, which they control trains when to stop and go. They are just right here next to the West Liberty Depot. Okay, what you see right here, this is a maintenance avoid flat car that was once used for carrying stuff like nail spikes, I should say, and it was even used for carrying tracks, ties, new ties, of course, and different types of materials for the railroad. And also, I think it was also used for the Rock Island Railroad, the Chicago Rock Island and Pacific. Then it later came to be here at West Liberty Heritage Depot Museum and Heritage Park. Right next to this music can be found on this intersecting track as well. You see right behind me the Chicago Rock Island and Pacific caboose was built in 1913 and is an outbraced wooden caboose. This caboose was once used on the Chicago Rock Island and Pacific Railroad many years ago. Was originally a boxcar and later converted to a caboose, a cupola caboose, and also was used as the train crew's office and served on the Chicago Rock Island and Pacific. And the original number is unknown. Also, this caboose was retired, and I believe it went to be at Midwest Old Threshers grounds at Midwest Central Railroad at McMillan Park, and was used next to the North Station, and even to be either to represent the Red Caboose gift shop or just to be the gift shop maybe. Then later this caboose got moved to Adair, Iowa, where it was the Jesse James gift shop, and then moved to West Liberty, Iowa to be displayed at the depot of West Liberty Depot Museum and Heritage Park as well, and was cosmetically restored. And the number may be unknown currently still, and there's a belief that it was numbered 17777, but I'm not sure if so, but I guess that might be true. Well, I hope you all enjoyed learning about trains with me today in Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also, I hope to see you all again in the next segment. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show, signing out until next time. All aboard!